or an idiot.
I don't mind. That's my hurting. I don't care about talking. I don't care about talking. My hurting is punching you in the face. That's my hurting, putting you in hospital.
I respected his father in as much as he wouldn't be in the position that he's in today if it wasn't for his dad. Let's get that right. It's not rocket science. The dad paved the way. The dad made the name for the Eubanks. The son followed on in the farm.
I'm glad the security got hold of me straight away because it was pretty much like instant. I was ready to go.
So if the security didn't have audio, would you just shot?
The latest Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr face-off didn't just ignite tension, it detonated it. What began as a routine media event turned into one of the most explosive confrontations in modern British boxing history. Words became weapons, emotions boiled.
Because that's what cheaters do. People will forget now that this guy is a drug cheat. So when you have that type of mentality to where you take steroids to try and improve your performance, that usually means that when you get into tough situations, you're going to revert back to your cheating mentality, which is,
I love this. I love it.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Over, and one sharp slap sent shockwaves across the sport. In their first meeting years ago, the drama revolved around the now infamous egg slap, a mocking reminder of Eubank Jr.'s eccentric personality and showmanship. But this time, the tension reached a whole new level.
Issues, isn't it? It's only the first time, and I can promise you now, for as long as this fight, it won't be the last.
The recent face-off, Conor Benn crossed a sacred line by making disrespectful comments about Chris Eubank Sr., a legend of British boxing and a figure who shaped the sport's golden era. The insult hit deep. It wasn't just banter anymore. It was personal. Furious and unable to hold back, Chris Eubank Jr. snapped.
He must love it. He must love the egging and pushing him on. We talking crap about the fighter and, just trying to get in his head.
With cameras flashing and a stunned crowd watching, he struck back with a sharp open-hand slap that instantly went viral. The atmosphere flipped from verbal warfare to near-riot chaos. Security rushed in, barely containing what could have become an all-out...
if you think bad things, next say, oh, I'm sorry. Listen, you must think before, think what after.
Brawl between two men who now genuinely despise each other. Conor Benn's face turned from shock to fury. You could almost feel the adrenaline pulse through the air as he shouted warnings that this wasn't over. His words dripped with defiance, promises that he wouldn't forget the humiliation.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, but like I say, I don't see there's any harm in it. It doesn't bring the sport into disrepute in any way. This is the show business world that we live in. There's the fight game and then there's the fight business. And from a business perspective, that's probably just sold another 1 million tickets worldwide to people to watch this fight.
For Benn, this fight has now crossed the boundary of sport. It's personal payback. But according to insiders, Eubank Jr.'s explosive behavior wasn't just raw emotion. It was cold calculation. Those close to his camp say that Chris thrived.
He put his hands on it, and so it was wrong. But you know what? He's saying I'm going to play the villain. I've been the prop, done everything right up to this.
Lives on chaos. Every insult, every physical gesture, and every psychological strike is part of his strategy. He wants Benn emotionally unbalanced, angry, and reckless when the first bell rings. For Eubank, the slap was more than reaction. It was chess.
Expect that from Chisora. I'm not going to lie, when it happened, I laughed my head off. I absolutely laughed my head off.
I did too.
I thought it was quite poetic. I thought what happened was quite fun.
And in the brutal game of boxing psychology, it might just have given him the early advantage. As one veteran promoter put it, this isn't just a fight anymore. It's a war of mind and fury. The camps reflect that same sentiment.
I thought it was a bitch move. I really did. Have you spoken? I would never. If you chin someone at a presser, if you do that, it's different. But when you
training footage, interviews, and leaked snippets show both fighters at their physical peaks, but the difference lies in mentality. Eubank Jr. radiates cold confidence, a smirk that says he's in control of the chaos. Benn, on the other hand, burns with intensity, his words sharper, his training more vicious, his eyes filled with defiant energy. Industry voices are split down the middle. Some see Eubank Jr.'s behavior as disgraceful, others view it as marketing genius. One truth stands above all: the hype is unstoppable. Promoter Eddie Hearn didn't mince words.
Get my hands on him. I've got my hands on him now. I've beaten him. So now it's kind of like, all right, well, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it even better. Let's see what happens, you know? It's a different energy.
Do you see yourself knocking him out this time round?
I think so.
That slap was a cowardly cheap shot, he said. Press conferences are for trash talk, not violence. But this shows how real the bad blood is. The heat is genuine, the tension is personal. And he's right. The animosity between these two men has evolved beyond media theater. This isn't scripted drama. It's an emotional collision of pride, legacy, and ego. Johnny Nelson, however, offered a different take. Eubank Jr. is embracing the villain role perfectly, he observed. Yes, the slap was wrong, but the bad...
His thing is, it's not really his personality. People say I'm phased and rattled, but the reality is, who's really more phased and more rattled? You look at the top table, what do you see? A broken team.
Guy always sells. Conor Benn pushed his buttons, and Chris gave the fans a show. Nelson's point cuts to the heart of modern boxing's entertainment dynamic. Fans crave chaos, and chaos sells. Ticket numbers are soaring, streaming pre-sales are breaking records, and social media is ablaze with debate. The face-off clip has been replayed millions of times, dissected frame by frame, meme by meme. Paul Smith, another respected analyst, found irony in the whole situation. The slap was shocking but poetic, he said with a grin. It wasn't dangerous, it was drama. And boxing runs on...
He's a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer. And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr. is having. He's got this thing in his mind, he's a masterful boxer. No, you're not. I'm sorry, no, you're not.
He's been on drama. He's not wrong. The face-off has already entered the viral hall of fame. Within hours, hashtags trended globally, and the Benn-Eubank rivalry turned into a cultural talking point beyond sports pages. Fans, influencers, and former champions all weighed in, some condemning, others cheering. Adam Smith, the voice of countless iconic fights, described it perfectly. Technically wrong, but emotionally electric. The slap added adrenaline to a rematch that already carried historical weight. Fans aren't just watching a fight anymore, they're part of a global event. Smith's take captures the duality of boxing, the fine line between morality and marketing. The moment Eubank Jr.
Hey, silly bollocks, threaten my dad again, watch what happens to you.
I'm not threatening him, I'm just letting him know.
Do you hear what I said? Do you hear what I said?
There's no
Do you hear what I said? Well, he did get his arms around your neck.
Go on, leave it, I got it, Mark, can handle this, mate.
Jr.'s hand connected with Benn's face. This rematch transcended boxing's usual script. It became theater, raw, unpredictable, and irresistible. Behind the scenes, trainer Dave Coldwell shed light on what many suspected. It wasn't spontaneous rage. That slap was premeditated, he revealed. Eubank planned it. It's psychological warfare, designed to make Benn fight with emotion instead of focus. That revelation reframed everything. If true, it means Eubank Jr. wasn't losing control. He was taking it. In his mind, he landed the first mental punch long before fight night. The slap, therefore, wasn't just about dominance. It was about setting the stage for psychological superiority. Coldwell's breakdown adds...
Twice as big for the casual fans. Do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens next.
It's chilling depth to the rivalry. If Benn allows anger to cloud his strategy, Eubank wins before the opening bell. But if he channels it, if he turns that fury into fuel, then Eubank may have awakened something far more dangerous. Tony Bellew, never one to sugarcoat, weighed in brutally. Conor Benn has the fighting edge, he said. Eubank Jr.'s arrogance could be his downfall. He's technically sharp, but emotionally fragile. Benn's hunger and explosiveness can break him. Bellew's assessment brings the debate back to pure boxing, skills, heart, and nerve. Eubank Jr. relies on timing, rhythm, and psychological presence. Benn thrives on aggression, speed, and raw intent. Their clash is the perfect storm of styles, control versus chaos.
Characteristic. At the time, I'm thinking it's like reaction. So no, it's not, because he premeditates everything, and it was funny, but I don't agree with...
Nigel Benn, proud father and living legend, made his prediction loud and clear. "This fight's not going past 4 rounds, he declared. "Conor's stepping up 2 weight classes, but that boy's got power. Chris better be ready, because my son's not coming to box. He's coming to destroy." That statement lit up social media all over again. The comparison to Liam Smith, who previously stopped Eubank Jr., only heightened the narrative. If Conor's power truly carries at the higher weight, Eubank could be in trouble. From a tactical standpoint, analysts note that Eubank Jr.'s defense relies heavily on reflexes and head movement, weapons that can fade under emotional pressure. If Benn starts fast and lands early, momentum...
Like I say, the fight wasn't a letdown because it was a good fight, but as an event...
could swing in his favor before Eubank adjusts. But the psychological layer remains the most fascinating subplot. Both fighters are trying to own the narrative. Eubank Jr. wants Benn seen as immature, unstable, easily provoked. Benn counters by portraying Eubank as insecure, desperate for attention, and emotionally cracked. It's mental chess of the highest order, and fans are hooked. Every interview, tweet, and camera angle adds another move on the board. Meanwhile, Duke McKenzie, the former world champion, called the face-off one of the greatest spectacles in recent boxing history. He compared it to legendary rivalries that defined generations. Ali versus Frazier, Eubank Sr. versus Benn Sr., where every...
I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought, you've got nothing left. You've got nothing. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was the weight issue and all the build-up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think there's... do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left for Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in the second fight?
Gesture carried symbolic weight. Fans aren't just watching punches, McKenzie said. They're watching human theater, pride, legacy, and emotion colliding. The business side couldn't be happier. Pay-per-view projections are climbing by the day. Sponsors are flooding in. Promoters know controversy is the best marketing currency in boxing. Chaos equals cash, one insider joked. And yet beneath the showmanship, there's genuine tension. Both fighters have everything to lose and everything to prove. For Benn, it's legacy. He's fighting not just for himself, but to avenge his father's name and restore pride after being publicly slapped. For Eubank Jr., it's redemption and control. He's determined to prove he's not just his father's shadow, but a master manipulator of the fight game, inside and outside the ring. Johnny Nelson predicts the incident will shape the rematch's tone entirely. Conor Benn's energy from that slap could change everything, he said. Eubank might have thought he rattled him, but sometimes rage sharpens focus. Benn's got youth, confidence, and momentum, dangerous ingredients for a man like Eubank to face. It's impossible to overstate how personal this has become. Every stare, every word, every move drips with animosity. The upcoming rematch isn't about rankings anymore. It's about pride, identity, and revenge. The slap wasn't just a viral moment. It was a spark that set the entire boxing world ablaze. Fans are now divided into 2 camps, Team Benn and Team Eubank, each convinced their fighter will deliver poetic justice. What makes it even more gripping is that both men understand the stakes. Lose, and the humiliation will live forever. Win, and you rewrite the narrative of an entire rivalry. When the bell finally rings, it won't just be about punches or points. It will be about who controls their demons, who turns emotion into precision, and who can thrive under the weight of public expectation. As Adam Smith summed it up, this isn't just a rematch. It's theater, legacy, and raw emotion rolled into one. The world will be watching. Every second, every round, every stare will carry history. Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr have reignited the essence of what makes boxing unforgettable. Pride, tension, and the fine line between control and chaos. Whether you're cheering for the relentless fire of Benn or the cold calculation of Eubank Jr., one thing's certain: this fight will define a generation. So buckle up. When these two step into the ring, expect not just a contest, but a collision. The slap was only the beginning.